Wow. Somebody else jumping into my show over here. Happy Monday. Thank you so very much for tuning in to 98.3 The Life. If you're on the radio, that's 98.3 FM. If you're on the internet, of course, that's 983thelife.com. Thank you either way for tuning in. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I come at you every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and the downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. And if you miss any part of today's episode, shame on you, because you should stay tuned for the entire episode. But if you have to miss any part of it, that's all right. Tune in later in the week to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. Now, if you're a fan of the show, then you know that every week I try my very best to bring a very special guest. All right, the industry best. We try to tackle some of these really big problems, these ideas, or sometimes we just talk about chocolate chip cookie recipes, whatever my guest would like to talk about. And today I have a super special guest, one of my old all-time favorites. I should say one of my favorites, not old like as in for a long time. She sometimes gets upset because she misreads what I'm saying and she thinks I'm insulting her. She's extremely young, okay? But I've known her for a very long time, it seems like.
You forgot something too.
What was that?
Bestest buddy?
That I'm getting to that. I'm not even done yet. Yeah, this is my bestest buddy from when the show started. This is the 4th season, and right from the very beginning, it was my sidekick, my that nitwit on the other side of the board. All right.
I just can't stand the compliments.
That's right. Just that the giggle behind the show. That it was really interesting. It's always been a pleasure, and we've done some special shows with her, and today's a really, really super special show. We're going to be talking about the line, and I'm going to explain why it's written this way. The line is going to be less talking and more starting. And for those of you who don't know who it is the ever popular
Tiffany.
There you go. Awesome. You can't lose that tagline. You can't lose that. I remember, Tiff, I don't know if you remember a while ago when we were doing the show regularly, you were like, I don't want to say it like that anymore. So what made you change? Why do you embrace it now?
Because your daughter didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring she didn't like it is because it's stuck in her head so much.
Probably.
So that's Tiffany's stuck in your head, then you're going to be thinking about me all the time.
And, I ended up saving the recording of you going, Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany. And that's the ringtone when she calls me. Okay. So
is it still really?
Yes, it still is. So that's great. So now she never calls me. She never wants to even accidentally promote that.
Oh, no, that's funny.
So anyway, Tiff, we are doing the show today about less talking and more starting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, some people say right away, why didn't you, isn't it supposed to be less talking and more doing? Right. And that's true. But what I think the problem with that is when we talk about doing all kinds of things, people are like, oh, that's such a big astronomical event. I'll get to it someday. All I want you to do is start. Okay.
The show is made for me.
Yes.
And you know it's made for me. So
I kind of feel bad. I tricked you into coming. I told you the show was about something else.
Yeah, and I had all my notes for that show.
I know, right. And then at the last minute I said, no, I'm gonna switch it around. I was afraid that if I pitched you this idea, you might go, no, you start without me.
No, actually, it's the opposite. I have my little pad and paper. I'll
take
notes.
Okay.
So this is going to be a good show.
Good. I'm hoping so, because we're going to cover some stuff. The big thing is no matter who you are, whether it's you, Tiff, me, the listeners out there, we always have some time in our life where we have these big dreams and something makes us hesitate and we don't go after them. And then we go into this whole idea, oh, I should have done that. I could have done that. Yep. Yeah, if I had another shot at it, I would do this, right? And so the goal here is to really push people to say, yes, why don't you just try it? Yeah. Start it. Yep. The worst that happens, you fail it and you learn something from it,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that I really try to live by that idea, that the thought process, my mantra of never having any regrets. In other words, if I start thinking, oh, I should have done it, then do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're good at that.
Yeah.
As long as I've known you, you're very good at it.
I really try to do that. And this whole idea of, I also, it's kind of like a little cheat code I have that if I don't do something, right, and later on, rather than looking back on, I should have done it, I say to myself, well, the world didn't want me to do that, right? So there's something about it. The reason I didn't do it was a better, there was a reason, a more impactful thing. I did other things that would have changed my life.
Kind of the universe was telling you not to do it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I heard this person, really, I just love this whole thought. When we start, and we're going to get into it, but I just want to share this with you before I forget it, is this idea of sometimes we get decision fatigue, right? And where we have to make a decision. Should I start it? Should I not? Maybe I'll do it later. Whatever. I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow. You know what? I'll do it after the TV show. Maybe next summer is better.
You're in my brain.
If I save a little bit of more money, if I lose a little bit more weight, that kind of stuff, I'll do it tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
Right. And that never comes, right? So rather than getting so hung up on the exhaustion of making a decision, one of the most important things we can do is to realize, rather than saying, did I make the right decision? The goal is make a decision and make that decision right. Okay. So I love that look. You're just like you lost me. And those were all little words, Tiffany. All right. All right. So what you're going to do is, let's make it as simple as possible.
Okay.
You choose 2 different restaurants you would eat.
Okay.
Name 2 restaurants that you might eat at, that you enjoy eating.
Like type of restaurants or the name of the restaurant?
Names, types, whatever you want to do it. This is not difficult homework. This is the easy stuff.
Italian, Chinese.
Perfect. So you like them both, and you're like, oh no, one or the other, right? So what you have to do now is, rather than spend a half an hour going, well, I should choose this, maybe this one instead, just choose one. Say, we're going to have Italian, right?
Right.
And then when you go and you eat Italian, don't spend the time saying, oh, we should have gone to the Chinese restaurant. I really like that kung fu pork or whatever it is that you like, that kung pao. I really like that, but instead you go, fantastic. We got the lasagna, we got the chicken parmesan, we got the gabagool. Okay. Whatever it is, you order it from that restaurant and you say, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. So you make the decision and make the decision right. You celebrate yourself for that win. All right. Rather than dwelling in I should have gone to the other place. So that's with everything. You say, should I quit my job, right? And what you do is you stay there an extra month or something like that. And you go, oh, I should have left a month ago because there was this job opening and now it's taken. Oh, I'm such a loser. I missed that boat. No, because you don't know if that would have been a better position.
Right. That
could have been worse. That's jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, right? So instead you say, well, something made me stay here. So good, I stayed here. And that next month I learned something. Even if I need an extra month, learn something, right? Even if I learned that I didn't learn anything, learn something, right? So it's important to make the decision, okay? And just make the decision that you made the right decision. Don't wait for the right decision, because you can't wait. You'll never know if the other one was right. You'll never know if the other one was better, etc.
Well, even if the decision's wrong, then you learn something.
Exactly.
So the next decision would be either the right one or
and let's put it this way. How do you know that any decision is wrong? Think of that. How do you know? Let's go back to the restaurant. You go to the Italian restaurant or the Chinese restaurant. Let's say you chose Italian. How do you know that was the wrong decision?
Right, because the Chinese might have been
you don't
undercooked.
Know.
You could have got sick,
right?
But you don't know
because that world doesn't.
Saying.
Right, that world doesn't exist. Now flip it around. Let's say you said we're going to the Chinese. How do you know that's not the right decision? Right, because you didn't. Then going to the Italian restaurant for dinner that night doesn't exist, so we don't know. So you just go. You make the decision, and then it's up to you to decide, is this a good decision or a bad decision? It's up to us to say, that's it. I'm going to celebrate this moment, this life, these seconds, this meal, the school I go to, the car I bought, whatever the deal is, you celebrate that and you make that the right decision. Okay?
Makes sense.
So first off, we have to learn to be able to do that, because as soon as we go, oh, I made a mistake. As soon as we do that, we're living in that negativity.
Negative.
Right. Okay? So even though you might go, oh, that was really bad. Like, I should not have stood that close to the cliff because now I'm falling off the cliff. That may seem like a mistake. All right. And that's a tough one to say, oh, no, maybe that was the right decision. All right. But whatever it is, I need us to try to find some joy, some happiness, some positivity to say this was the right decision for one reason or another, no matter what it is. Okay. Maybe some show will revisit falling off the cliff, how we make that a good decision, but that's for another.
Well, there
day.
might be trees there that could catch you.
There you go. And there was bears and lions and barracudas on top, and you would have been eaten. Right. So you had to fall off the cliff. It saved your life. There you go. I like your thinking. All right. So today, Tiff, because you're a young pro. Okay. And you're not an old pro. You're a young pro on this whole idea. The reason we call this show Bacon Bits is just the obvious reason. Everything bacon touches becomes a little bit better, whether it's the food we eat, the time we spend with friends. And, bacon does everything. It's a perfect for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snack. Okay. Whatever.
As long as it's extra crispy.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're going to. Oh, and look, your mic turned off. All right. So, the show is all about bacon, adding a little bit of bacon to the thing we're going to talk about. We use bacon as the loose outline. But of course, I'm not talking about the bacon for chewing.
You're not?
No. What do you think I'm talking about?
You're talking about the bacon for doing.
You know it. Oh, it warms the cockles of my heart over here. Just to know that you remember that. You know how many people go, I don't know, because they don't know the rest of the saying, but you nailed it. So today's bacon, the breakdown of what we're going to be talking about as it ties to less talking and more starting is this. B is going to be break it down.
Oh, I got to write this down.
Yeah, you start writing it down. You know it. So B is going to be break it down. All right.
Break it down.
Break it down. A is act before you're ready. Okay.
Act before you're ready?
Yeah. And I know you're going to love that one. That's making your palms sweat already. C is commit publicly. And this one, I'm going to get people go back and forth on this. They go, no, don't do this. Don't do this. But we're going to get into this.
I know what it is. Right? Yep.
O is overcome fear with curiosity.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, isn't that a good one? And then N is never stop learning.
Oh, you like that one.
I love that one. Thank goodness we got another N that's not a nurturing. All right. It's very few positive words I'm finding that start with N.
Never stop
learning.
Yearning
for the learning there, Tiff.
Okay.
All right. So some of the things we're going to do here is obviously we're going to start with this break it down. All right. You look at these things we want to do. We've got these incredible goals in our life, right? These things that we really want to do. And, we've talked about this plenty of times, that a goal, in order to turn a dream into a goal, you've got to write it down and put a deadline to it. If you don't write it down, if you don't articulate it and put a deadline to it, then it just remains a dream. Oh. If you say, one day I'm going to go Alaska salmon fishing, because I know how much you want to do that.
Actually, It would be kind of cool.
There you go. Perfect. But it's a dream until you pick a date. Mm-hmm. And you pick the date, not a date to go with, but the date to do it by. Mm-hmm. So you're going to say, I'm going to do it 2026 in November, whatever. I don't know what's the season. What's the best season to travel to Alaska?
Usually summertime.
Okay. And that's the best. That's when
it's still chilly, but yeah.
The salmon are swimming, or do they swim in the spring?
I think it's because they lay their eggs in the spring, and then that's where the grizzlies.
Gotcha. That's what you want to see. That's right. See. And you go there dressed in a salmon costume. Okay.
And say, here, kitty.
Kitty. Right. All right. So this is what you're going to do is you're going to set a date, a deadline, a goal. We're going to get this accomplished at that point. So we're breaking it down. And what we're saying is this, whatever the lofty goal is, whatever it's going to be, you break it down backwards and you say, in order to get to that point, what do I have to do? Let's say you're going to go salmon fishing in Alaska in November 2026. Okay. So you say, so if I'm going to do that, what do I have to do in the next year, or at least before then, to prep myself? I got to make sure that
save money.
Yeah, you're right. There you go. How about book the flight? All right.
Maybe you got to get new clothes.
There you go.
Because it might be a little chilly.
It might be. Well, it's definitely going to be a different climate, whatever it is. Maybe take some fishing lessons. Maybe learn what salmon fishing is actually all about.
Maybe learn what a salmon actually is.
There you go. Maybe learn how to fight off a bear. Right. All kinds of stuff. So you're going to make this list of all the things you need to do, prepping yourself for that trip. And then you're going to start making little deadlines on all the things you need to do first, the things you need to accomplish in order to get there. And so let's just say it's book the trip. Okay. and you're going to say, well, let's book the trip. Well, you're like, we got a year and a half. Do I need to book the trip now? So maybe I would say call a travel agent. That's easy to do. That's not a difficult thing to do, is call the travel agent. And they have the travel agent maybe start picking your brain a little bit about, well, what is it you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? They're going to tell you some things. You're going to gain some knowledge from them, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to say, okay, well, let's start setting this up. And when they go, okay, we're setting this up in November, and you go, ooh, wow, you're going to set it up already? Yeah, make a down payment. Let's start making it, because they're going to help you pay for it. Now it's suddenly, now it feels real, right? But if instead you go, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to call the travel agent next month. And then it's like, oh, no, I mean, I didn't mean September. I meant October. And I'm like, next month is August. What do you mean September and October, right? And well, no, it's a year. It's in November, so we can wait till November. But then Christmas is right around the corner, so let's wait till January. But then Valentine's Day. Okay, May.
Marty is in my head right now. I'm just letting all of you know. Marty is saying what's in my thought.
And then all of a sudden you're getting closer and closer, and they go, oh, because you're booking so late, it's going to be really expensive. And the trip you really wanted doesn't exist. You're like, well, all right, then maybe I'll do it in 2027. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to set up all that list of all those things we want to get done and set mini deadlines for all of those things. Right. All right. Everything. And this we're talking about a trip. But when you're talking about anything, if you want to write a book, if you want to start a business, if you want to get married to somebody, can you imagine saying, I want a really big wedding. I want to invite 300 people to my wedding. We need a beautiful dress and tuxedos, and got to ask everyone, when are you going to do this? Probably next weekend, right? You're like, wow, no, you didn't give yourself any time to plan. So you postpone it, you wait a year and a half, whatever it is, and you start laying out all those steps. So by this date, we got to do this. By this date, we got to do this, etc. So when you look at that big, ominous goal of yours, it's a dream, and then you put a date to it, turns it into a goal. Sometimes that looks so scary. Yeah. And then you're like, I don't know if I want, I don't know if we can do that. I don't know, like, what am I supposed to do? So instead, make the list of the little things you need to do in order to get there.
So since you know everything, what you just said.
Yeah.
I must not be the only one that thinks like that.
Oh my God. Everyone thinks that way. Everyone does.
Because you are just have me down to a T.
Yeah, because we all have these ideas of things we want to do, and it'll do, have you ever seen that thing people pass around? It's a little round coin, and it says, it just says "Tuit," T-U-I-T.
Tuit?
Tuit, T-U-I-T, right? And it's funny because it's a round coin, and they go, here, I'm giving it to you. It's a round Tuit. So in other words, you always said, I want to do these things once I get around to it. Okay. And so that's the thing. That's where you hand it to somebody when they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'll do it when I get around to it. So then you say, here it is. You got around to it. Go for it. Right.
I never heard that or saw that before.
And I think it's cool because it's kind of like a little jab, but it's important because everyone's got something that we say, I'm going to get around to it. Like, I'll start it tomorrow. I'll start it later, and so we have to dig inside ourselves and find out, how do we break down those goals? How do we accomplish the first goal, etc. Okay. When I'm coaching businesses, I give them a sheet that looks like a bullseye. Okay. And in the center, I say, this is your 10-year goal or your ultimate goal. I'll say right in the center, what's your ultimate goal? And it might be, I want $1 million in sales. I want to buy a third van. I need to hire 10. I want 10 employees by that time, whatever it is. You say, okay, so you put that in the middle. Then the outer ring is 10 years. And you say, what do I have to accomplish in 10 years to make that ultimate goal come true? Okay. And outside of that is 5 years and then 3 years, or, and you say, so what do I have to do in 5 years? Or what do I have to do in 3 years to make all those goals happen to hit the ultimate goal? Then all of a sudden it's, what do I have to do this year to make my 3-year goal or my 5-year and my 10-year goal happen? What do I have to do this year? And like you're looking at this and you're like, wow, then it becomes real. And then you say, while you're at it, break it down to the quarter. What do I have to do in the next 3 months to make my yearly goal happen so that my 3-year, 5-year, 10-year ultimate goal can happen? And if your answer is always, well, I'll do that later, I'll do it next quarter, then don't lie to yourself and say, if I continue to do that, it'll never happen. Okay. So you can break it down to a quarter. You can break it down to a month to say, what do I have to do this month to make it happen? so that I can hit the quarterly, yearly, etc., all the way to the ultimate. And once you got it to the month, why not break it down to the week and say this week, Monday through Friday, what do I have to accomplish this week, get done this week, so that I succeed in this month, and I succeed in the quarter, and I succeed in the year, and I reach all the way eventually to my ultimate goal. And if you go, wow, that really this 1 week is going to affect it? Yeah, because whatever you need to do this week, if you postpone it to next week, you have postponed everything.
Yep.
Okay. So it's really important to break them down to the smallest goals. And it doesn't matter what it is. Let's say you want to crochet a scarf. You break it down to those little things. I got to learn to crochet. I got to buy crochet needles. I got to buy yarn. I got to decide what color it's going to be. Whatever it is, I got to break down those little things and then say, what am I going to do now? What's the first thing I need to do? I can't just sit down and go, I'm going to start crocheting a scarf. And somebody's going to go, and do you have yarn? No, I do not have yarn. Okay. And I don't know how to crochet. You got to get those done first. So you go to the store, you take a lesson, you buy the equipment, you buy the yarn, etc.
And there's also, you may think you know what you're doing, and then when it's time to actually do it or try it, you're not as good as you thought you would be.
No.
And then you're kind of freaking out because you thought you would be good and you're not
Bam.
good. And then you get postponed until maybe a coach tells you got to keep doing it and doing it until you are good at it. And then you could proceed.
Bam. I'm loving that. Well, I'm working on a new little form. That's that little drawing I was doing on the back.
It's very pretty.
Well, thank you. While I was thinking about you coming in here, I was thinking, all right, we're going to do this. I'm going to write out this form. So here's what you're going to end up doing: is imagine there's two columns, and one is love and hate. So you list the things that, let's say, you love about your current situation, and the things you hate, or at least dislike about your current situation. So let's just say that it's your relationship, right? You and your spouse. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your vehicle. Maybe it's your kids. Like, hey, it's time to get rid of these kids. Okay, whatever the deal is. All right. So you go, here's the things I love about them, or that bring me joy or happiness. Here's the list of the things I don't like. These are the irritants. Okay. So you are,
because hate is a very strong word.
Well, you haven't met my kids. Okay. Just joking. I love them all dearly. Okay.
Except for that one.
Yeah. No. Oh. When I say I love them dearly, I'm talking about like I love them like deer during hunting season. Okay. So anyway, all right. So you got the two lists: the love and the not like as much. Okay. Now what you do next to that, next to the things that you hate or dislike, you put the pros and cons there of changing. So if there is something like, let's say it's your job, and you say, I don't like where I'm working. Okay. I like the money. I like working with Stacy. Is there a Stacy you work with?
No, but that's
good.
okay.
All right. That's good. I wanted to pick a name. I didn't want, oh my God, I don't like Stacy. All right. But anyway, so yeah, I like working with Stacy. It's close to the house. The money is good. Okay. And then you start listing the things you don't like. Well, sometimes it's really boring. My boss micromanages, etc. So you list these things out and you weigh them and you say, to make a better life, can I have still the things that I love and change the things that I don't like? Okay. So what you do is you write down the list of the pros and cons of trying to change those things. So
you have two pros and cons. You have one pro and con of your current situation, and then you have another pro and con of you changing.
No. Well, you could do that. So it's the love and hate is one.
Okay.
Then the things you hate, we're going to try to change those.
Okay.
Because we don't want to change something if we love it, right?
Correct.
So those are things we want to keep. We want to keep those things. And now we're looking at the things we want to change. Like one thing is, I wish they would double my salary. Let's say that's something. Like maybe I love everything about it, but I don't get paid enough. So I wish I could make more money. Okay. So you say to change that.
I see.
Might be I have to go get a job somewhere else.
I see.
Okay. I might have to approach my boss and say, it's time you give me more money. Okay. How am I going to make the change? Okay. And then you say, what are the positives and the negatives, the pros and cons of that happening? Is the boss going to fire you just for asking? Probably not. Right. But one of the cons might be the boss is going to be brutally honest
and laugh in your face.
Right. And say, are you kidding? We're this close to firing and you're asking for a raise? And suddenly you might hear something. But then you say, what's the pros and cons of that? Well, the pro is now I finally learn how I'm being viewed here, and maybe I can change that. Okay. So you look through all of those. So I could find another job. Okay. But then I'm not going to work with Stacy anymore. It might be further away. I might have a worse boss than this one who micromanages me. So you list those kinds of things out. And once you do that, you start weighing them. All right. Am I willing to gamble what I love for the possibility of changing these things I don't like? Okay. Is there a balance there? Okay. And then next to that, you finally write the plan. So what is the plan? The plan might be, instead of quitting, I'm going to go to my boss and ask for a raise. Okay. The boss is micromanaging me. Instead of me quitting or staying upset, I'm going to talk to the boss and say, when you come to me and you micromanage me on a regular basis, it undermines me. It makes me feel like you don't trust me. I've been working here for 37 years, whatever, and by now you should trust me. I mean, after all I do is sharpen pencils, and you don't have to watch me do that, right? Whatever the deal is. So you decide and you create a plan on that. Okay. But everything is broken down to what's the worst case scenario? What's the pros to that? So if I talk to my boss about micromanaging, the pros might be, he goes, oh my God, I didn't realize I was doing that. Thank you for bringing that up. And things get better. Cons might be like, well, you know what? I feel like I have to watch you because you make too many mistakes. Then it opens up to have a conversation of a whole different thing that you can make fixes. So, but it's really it's important for us to break those things down just like that. So a list of the things I love, a list of the things that I hate, okay, or dislike. And then the things that I dislike, I'm going to try to change those. And in changing those, I have to say, what is the positive or the pro in changing them? And what is the possible negative or the con for changing those? What could go wrong? And then after looking at all that, weighing the difference, is it worth the risk of trying to change it? And I might lose the stuff I love. By looking at it, then you finally just write a plan. Okay. So I'll tell you what, we have been chatting for a while, and I'm going to take a small break to introduce.
Wow, that went by fast.
I know, didn't it? We're going to introduce to the rest of the world some of the other shows on this incredible station. So please stay tuned.
Experience.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned in to 98.3 The Life. Of course, you're listening to Master Happiness, Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove. Today in the studio, I've got the incredible Tiffany. There she is. Look at that. Wow. I didn't even turn on your mic. I could still hear you. Okay.
It's not hard.
That's right. Look at that. The dogs are howling outside. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're talking about this whole idea of less talking and more starting. The idea of starting is I just want us to get the ball rolling. Once you get the ball rolling, just starting like this, you'll start to build the momentum in the right direction. So we're doing the BACON acronym right now to do the breakdown. And that is B, break it down, obviously. A is act before you're ready. C is commit publicly. O is overcome fears and with curiosity. And N is never stop learning. So although we've been dancing around most of these through the first half an hour of the show, we really talked about breaking it down into these smaller bites of whatever it is I want to get accomplished. You don't have to chase after this really big dream necessarily. The idea is break down into chewable bites until you get to the entire encore.
And don't choke.
Please don't choke. All right. So A is the act before you're ready. Okay. And the reason I like this whole idea is that too often we go, I'll get to that when I'm ready. I need to do this first. I need to take this class first. I need to save a little bit of extra money. I need to do this. I need to do that. Mm-hmm. Whatever. We can come up with 1,000 excuses, right? And so I think it's really important to do this other thing that I'm going to add into that form we talked about in the first half an hour, that next to the con, where we're writing things about like the negativity, the reasons we wouldn't change, is a fear check. And there'll be a little box and you have to click it to say, I did the fear check. In other words, am I not doing that just because I'm afraid? Okay, because fear is that greatest obstacle. It's the one we put in front of her. Oh, but what if I fail? So what? Okay,
that's huge with me.
Right, and it's huge with everyone. A lot of people are like, I would have done that, but I don't want to fail. So I love this question. Here you go, Tiff, and I want you to think about it. You don't have to answer it right away. Is what would you do differently in your life if you didn't have the fear of failure? In other words, you knew no matter what, you were going to succeed in it. All right. So what would you do that if there was no fear of failure, you know, like you were going to succeed in it? Absolutely. There's no possibility of failing at it. That, and I'm telling you, no, you can think, you could say it if you want. Some people might go, "Ooh, that's a little personal. I don't want to tell you." Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So if you have something in your head and you want to share it, share away.
I have the fear of videotaping myself.
Okay. So if there was no fear of failure, no fear. So is it the fear of you don't think you'll look good on screen? You think people will look negatively towards you? What is it a combination of?
All the above.
Okay. So in other words, if that fear was eliminated completely, you would videotape yourself more often? What would you do?
I guess.
I guess. I don't know. You make it sound like I'm supposed to decide for you.
Because if I'm scared, then.
But eliminate now that the fear is gone. All right, you're going to look incredible on video, and no one will make fun of you. Would you start doing online videos?
I guess so.
Oh, don't say I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, good.
See, the thing is too, when I was younger, I was in acting classes. I was in plays. I did speech. You know, I was in speech class. And there was no fear whatsoever in me.
Right.
Why is it when I'm older, I have all this fear now?
I think that's it. The more we think about it, the more things we create obstacles for ourselves. We create those fears. When kids are younger, they're fearless until they are taught to think otherwise. Okay. You know, I mean, kids just run around, do anything until they hear a negativity, until they discover an obstacle. And then remember that the thing that we have the most control over, if we have control over anything, is the way we respond to things. Okay. Ooh. That's the only thing we have control over. You don't have control over the way other people will view your videos. You don't have any control over if people will laugh behind your back. You don't have any control if they will absolutely love you. You don't have any control if they'll write you accolades or make fun of you online. You have no control. So the only thing, if you have any control over anything, is how you react to it. Okay. So if it's something that you say, this is something I really want to do, then you have to go and just do it. Face that fear. Okay. You remember the initial acronym for BACON is believe in yourself, anticipate obstacles, and C is confront your fears. If it's something that you have a desire to do and you have the ability to do it, the only thing that's stopping you is because you're afraid to do it. Okay. So I want you to think about that and say, I'm going to do this. And I want you to start doing this and start recording more stuff. Even record something, get in the front of the camera and go, hi, camera, this is Tiffany. I don't know what I'm saying, but I just said it. Ta-da. And there you go. And you take that and put it online.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Why? You scaredy cat?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now what I got to do is we got to get you to record live. Look at this. You are on camera right now. Go ahead. Oh, my gosh. You're on camera right now. Now go ahead and say, hi, everyone. This is Tiffany. There you go.
Tiffany.
There you go.
And now I hit the computer and now I can see myself. Oh, now it's really bad.
No, it's great. Look at that big smile on your face. The world loves you. This is what you should be doing. This. Don't, by a round of applause or just raising your hand, doesn't the world think that Tiffany should make more videos? Look at that. Oh, it's unanimous. I have not seen one person put their hand down. So there you go.
Yeah, Linda and Christy.
Yeah, they're all laughing. They're like, oh, thank God she's on there, not me. All right. But I want you to face that fear. If that's something that you want to do, and remember, there was no prompting, no pushing. I said, what is something you would do if fear didn't interrupt you? So you just did it now. You did it live. Okay. So you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. So I want you to, we'll keep moving on with that. And then this might be the ending thing where you're going to say, yes, what I learned today is I'm just going to do it.
Just do it.
Just start. Remember, that's the whole idea. So acting before you're ready is stop putting these obstacles in front of, Stop putting these conditions in front of ourselves. Stop putting hurdles in front of ourselves, and just start. You're learning on the way. Everyone who has done this, every once in a while they show these old Tony Robbins videos of when he was younger and he was doing these presentations in small like classrooms. And he sounds good. He's naturally good at it, but he is nothing like he is now. Okay, because obviously he grew and matured, and he practiced and he learned from his mistakes. But he couldn't have done it if he didn't start it. Okay, and it's the same with me when I was giving speeches. The first couple times, I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. And you have to have the courage just to get up and do it. Getting on the radio, it was the same thing. I mean, come on, you jumped into this so quickly. You were like, I'm going to do this, right? So there you go. You can face some things like that, so you can do it. You just every once in a while, you got to look at yourself and laugh at yourself and go, why am I afraid of this? Okay, you make a video. I promise you this. I make a promise. Okay, and that is if you make one live video every day for a month, let's just say 30 days. You do this live every day for a month. Okay, and it could be anywhere from 10 seconds to 60 seconds. Say whatever you want. Every day, put it on Instagram and Facebook.
I have to wait.
Yeah, you got to post it. That's what I said. It's got to be live. It's got to be live, right? And you just say something like you open up a book and you say, I just want to, today, Tiffany's reading a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Hey, you darn kids, get off my lawn. That was Benjamin Franklin. Whatever. You just do this whole thing. And I promise you, the promise I'm making you is very simple, that if you do that every day for a month, you will not get eaten by a shark. Okay.
So what you say makes total sense.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a lot easier to listen to you than to actually do it.
Yeah. And then, if it's something you want, you're not going to get eaten by a shark. Herd of buffalo are not going to run over you, right? Mm-hmm. No one's going to attack you. Okay. No one's going to steal your milk money. Okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. And the worst that's happened is maybe someone goes, oh, you're goofy. This is stupid. I don't want to watch you. Then don't watch me. Right. Okay, just be comfortable in your own skin. All right, your skin doesn't fit anyone else, so you have to be the best version of yourself. All right, so do it.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Because I want to see after 30 days if a shark eats you, then I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be very.
It is Shark Week.
That's right. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize in the air. I was like, I pushed her into a month and the shark ate her. Oh. I can't believe it. All right. Okay. So that's the act before you're ready. Stop putting up excuses. C is commit publicly. Okay. Now I go back and forth with this because some people, the rule of thumb is no, don't tell people this.
I've heard both. I heard
and
do not say anything. And then I said, I hear.
Right. But I think I think it's up to you, the type of person you are.
I tell everybody.
If you need the push, okay, and you need the accountability, you need people to go, come on, I thought you were going to do this. Whatever happened to that?
I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Right. And you need the push. And more so, you don't want to disappoint yourself. Oh, I can't believe I promised everyone I was going to do this and I didn't do it. Okay. If you keep it quiet and only to yourself, it's so much easier to quit. Okay. If you don't tell anyone, you're going to start and quit things all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, some people say, no, you don't want to tell people because most people don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you fail so that by comparison, they feel better about themselves. This is an unfortunate truth, right? There's only a handful of people that will support you 100% of the time, right? But a lot of people, they want to hear, yeah, she tried that. She's never going to make it. Oh. There's plenty of that.
I know.
But I think what's cool about that is understanding that and saying, I'm going to tell those people, I'm going to do it. And then later, if they go, yeah, I knew you weren't going to make it.
Oh,
you know what? And then they say that, go, but you know what? At least I tried. At least I tried. I learned something. And one of the most important things I learned is that you are not going to help me. No matter what I try to do, you pretend to be a friend, but you are going to make sure I fail. Okay? So I learned, if nothing else, I learned not to have you in my circle. Okay? And so this brings us to this other thing. I want you to think about this, is sometimes we ask other people to help us. We want the encouragement from other people. We want
I actually did that.
We want their thoughts, right? And what I need you to do is this, is understand, and I call it the AEIOU and always why. Okay? So AEIOU, you know how to spell that?
I-O-U.
You and always why.
Always.
Why?
Not sometimes
No,
why.
Always
Always
why. Right, right. Okay, so if you're going to talk to other people to get their thoughts, get them to tell you ahead of time why they're giving you their thoughts. That's what I mean by always why. Why are you giving me these thoughts? Why are you telling me this is a great thing to do? Why are you telling me it's a terrible thing to do? All right. What's the why behind it? And then dig into it. Is the why behind it something that they want you to fail? Is the why they want you to succeed? Is it the why they wish you just shut up? Whatever it is, I want you to get the why out of them. All right. And now the 5 different thoughts that they're going to share with you is this. A is advice. Some people give you advice and it's based on their personal experiences. I really think I know you. I have some experience here. I want to share this with you. And my advice is for you to do this. Okay? Understand that you don't have to take their advice, but it's good to listen to their advice. All right? That's the A. The E is an educated guess. Some people come to you and they go, I don't know for sure and I don't want to advise you, but my guess is this. You should do this because it just feels right. Okay? I'm not advising you to do this. I'm just making an educated guess. It's your decision. I is information. Some people go, I'm not telling you to do it, and I'm telling you not to do it. I'm just giving you information. This is what happened. 83% of new businesses, whatever, fail in the first year. AI is this, or whatever. Egg prices are starting to go down. These are the facts. I'm just giving you information. All right. So it's advice, educated guests, information. O is their opinion. And an opinion and advice are very different. In my opinion, I think you should do this. Versus advice is a little stronger. I advise you, you almost have to do this. Okay. An opinion is stronger than an educated guess because I'm leaning towards you. I'm nudging you to do this. In my opinion, this makes sense, but I'm not tying myself to that. My advice is to do this. You should definitely do this. Okay. And then lastly is the U, and the U is an ultimatum.
Ooh.
Okay. And the U is somebody who feels so strongly about it that they say, you have to do this. Otherwise our relationship changes. Otherwise a lot of things change.
Tiffy, if you don't do this video, that's it. I'm not friends with you anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So question.
Yes. Question.
Okay. So you have a friend. Do you ask them each of the AEIOU?
Yeah. Ask them straight out. If they give you advice, if I say, Tiff, from now on, you should be wearing red knee-high socks every day. Okay. You can ask me, is this your advice? Is this something you're really telling me I should be doing regularly? Is this something that means something? Are you making an educated guess on the importance of this? But obviously before that, you're saying, and why should I be wearing red socks? Oh my God, if you wear red knee-high socks all the time, what it will do is it'll guarantee you will make more money at work. Let's say whatever, right? Then what you're going to say is, all right, is this advice? Is this solid advice? You believe in this? Yes. Is this an educated guess? You don't know for sure, but you've read some papers on it and it makes some sense. Is it information? You're just saying, here's some information. I'm not telling you to wear them, or I'm not telling you not to wear them, but here's some information on it. Is it, it's my opinion. I think if you wore those socks, it would, you'd earn more money, or it's an ultimatum. You had better do that. Otherwise I want nothing to do with you.
So you're going to a friend, you're asking the advice, you go through all the letters. Right.
And first ask the why. Like, why are you giving me this? What's the reasoning behind it?
Okay. So start with the why.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So it's good to know, because when you go through those types of things, you have to explain to people the strongest ones are that A, the O, and the U. An ultimatum, like, wow, means something. This is very strong. Like, if I don't do this, there's an or else. All right. Like, why is this so powerful? The opinion is, okay, I'm willing to listen to your opinion. I'm willing to always listen, but the advice, I don't know if I'm ready to take your advice. Okay. And that's it. So you find out where their commitment to it is.
Okay.
And because somebody might go, you should be doing this. You're like, I'm going to do it. And then later they go, I can't believe you did this. And you're like, well, you advised me. No. I just threw it out. It's like, that was just an idea. It was just a piece of information. People skydive without parachutes all the time. I can't believe you did it.
Okay. So you should ask 10 people if you should wear the red socks.
Yes. Exactly.
And then see, because one person might say, absolutely do it.
But
someone else might say, oh, I don't know. You don't look good in red.
And you have to, and that's why you have to find out the why. What kind of people are they? Are these the people trying to make you fail? Are these good friends who only want you to succeed? So that's where that finding out the why behind the questioning. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we talked about that. You got your dream. You set your priorities straight, right? You are saying, this is what I want to do. You're breaking it down into little pieces. You're going out of your way to ask for help. You're going to people and saying, hey, can you help me? What do you think? All right. And then find out, why do you think that? All right. And is this, you find their commitment to their opinion. Is it an opinion? Is it advice? Is it an ultimatum? Is it just information? Whatever. Because a lot of people might go, yeah, I think you should wear those red socks. And you're like, what's it going to do? I don't know. I just like red. Okay. Versus somebody else like, no, if you don't wear those, we're done. Okay. So people give that their thoughts for many different reasons. Okay. All right. So with that, I told you about setting your priorities now of what the things, where you're going to, which goals you're going to set. And you have to set your priorities correctly. And I think it's really important to understand your priorities by asking these three questions. What matters most to me? Okay. What does this decision I'm making, how does it interact with my values? Okay. Like, what matters most to me? I want $1 million. Okay. And the quickest way I can imagine doing it, because Marty gave me his opinion about robbing a bank. Okay. Is it conflicts with my values. So I'm not going to do this. So you ask yourself, how does this idea, this thought, interact with my values?
Okay. Or do foot videos.
Yeah. Foot video. There you go. Perfect. I love it. I love it. All right. And then lastly, you have to ask yourself, is this something that I really want to achieve? Okay. And sometimes, it sometimes bounces back and forth with what matters. This matters to me that I make $1 million. And then you have to ask yourself, is that the thing you really, really want to achieve? What's behind it? Why do you want the $1 million? Why do you want to shoot videos of yourself? Why do you want to shoot videos of your feet? Okay, whatever it is, ask yourself that. And then if you don't know for sure inside, you go to ask other people and you go through and find out what's their motivation for giving you their thoughts. Okay. All right. So you go through that. And then that's also cool. We're taking a little side trip here, is those things. What matters most to me? What are my values? And what am I trying to achieve? Every once in a while, you check yourself. All right. Let's say you got a 2-year goal to start a business. At the 6-month mark, the 1-year mark, the 18-month mark, etc., you check yourself and you say, what matters most to me? What are my values? What am I trying to achieve? And maybe your dreams and goals change. Okay. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to set goals, to think of dreams, set goals, and then halfway through going, this is not what I really want. I can't believe I'm still chasing this dream.
But that's your learning lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we talked a little bit about overcoming fear with curiosity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to, the fear of jumping in the water. This is the overcome fear with curiosity. Life is a swimming pool, I always said, right? And some people run out of the locker room, just jump in, cannonball into the pool. Other people climb that ladder, dive off a perfect swan dive into the water, right? And they look beautiful. Other people dip their toe in the pool because they're a little afraid, is it going to be cold? What's the deal? All right.
And then you come along and push them.
Exactly. Some people need to be pushed in, right? So we need to overcome our fear with curiosity. Be curious to say, what is on the other side of fear? Fear is this massive obstacle that the more we feed it, it gets bigger and bigger. And we have to learn to become the kind of people who want to climb over fear, go around clear, dig a hole underneath it, or bust through it. And the only way to do that is with curiosity. Keep asking yourself, what am I missing? Because it's on the other side of fear. What am I cheating myself out of? And you have to keep saying that. Okay. And if the answer is the other side is something I really desire, it's something I want, I deserve what's on the other side of that, then you fight for it. And every time you stop, you have to say to yourself, I'm letting fear win. Okay. But understand that during the time, your goals and dreams change. You might go, you know what? I thought I wanted that, but it's not worth the effort I have to put in to get there.
But that still could be fear.
Right. And that's why you have to always ask yourself, are you making excuses? Are you procrastinating, making excuses, whatever, camouflaging fear with something else? So you have to be honest with yourself. I can never tell you what really scares you. I don't know what you really desire to do.
I don't know. You know me pretty well.
Pretty well, but not perfectly. Okay. And then, of course, at the end here is the end, which is never stop learning. And we really understand that because every single mistake, fail, fall, whatever happens, we learn something from it. And as soon as we learn something from it, we give that failure power. All right. And it suddenly becomes worthwhile. I would have never learned this had I not tried it and failed at it. I would have never learned this thing if I didn't face my fears and bust through that fear. Okay. Fall right on my face and then get back up and take 2 steps back and try it again. I would have never learned this stuff unless I did that. And I think that's what's so important is continue to say, I'm curious about what's on the other side of that fear. I'm curious to see what's over there. And if it's something I desire, I'm going to fight for it. And every time I fall, I'm going to get back up and learn from it. So I'm stronger. I'm more educated. I'm more knowledgeable. I can beat that fear because that fear is nothing more than an illusion. Right? And what happens is, let's say you get to this other place and it's yucky over there. Okay. It doesn't really matter because remember from the beginning, we said you just made a decision. There is no right or wrong decision. You make a decision, you make that decision right. And there's nothing to say that staying on this side of fear is the best place to be. You bust through because you're curious and you desire something on the other wall. You bust through and you try that. Okay. And if you go over there and you're like, ugh, it smells funny over here. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that where you were was going to be any better. Okay. So you choose where you want to go and you go for it. Okay. Obviously you don't hurt people on your trip. All right. But you just go for what you want. All right. And it's really important to do that because the greatest regret everyone has is not doing it. It's saying, what would my life have been like if I had done that? And I was too afraid to try it. Okay. And so you think about it all the time. They talk about people on their deathbed. Yeah. Nobody in their deathbed goes, oh, I wish I had earned more money. Okay. I wish I had buried more gold. No, they always talk about, I wish I had done this. Yeah. Okay. That kind of stuff. Right. And that's what you got to do is if you have a desire to do it, then go out and do it. All right.
Just do it.
Just do it, baby. And how does it do this? It's less talking and more starting.
More starting.
Yeah. Remember I told you about my ma. My ma would have liked you. She would have laughed with you and at you. But
kind of like you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't laugh with you. All right. So, but my mom, she got to that age where I want to say she was 55 or 60 was the first time. And she said, I want to do something crazy, right? Because I only have so much time in life. And she got a big tattoo on her shoulder. Okay.
No, wait, are you lying?
No. She got a big angel tattoo on her shoulder. She said, I've always wanted a tattoo. You know, my dad had a tattoo, but he had died years and years before that. And she goes, I want this tattoo. So I can always say I have an angel on my shoulder, someone to protect me. And then she lived into 65. And she goes, you know, every year I want to do something to like commemorate this and saying I lived 5 more years. And so I think at 65 was the time she went to the pool and jumped off the high dive. Okay. She loved swimming. She loved, being in the water, but she never jumped off the high dive. She jumped off the lower ones, but she goes, I'm doing the high one. Right. So she did that at 65.
This was her bucket list.
Yeah. It was her things of going, yeah, I'm going to end up doing this, but it was more than a bucket list. Remember, it was a plan pail. Okay. That's right.
God. I was trying to remember because I know you didn't like bucket lists.
Yeah, because a bucket list is just the things, maybe someday. Right.
And so what do you call it?
A plan pail.
A plan pail.
Right. And you know what you put in plan pail? Gallons and gallons of goals. It's dripping of dreams, right? But a bucket list is just hopes and thoughts and maybes. All right. And the bottom of it is a round to it. Maybe one day. Right. But instead, plan for it. So she said, in 5 years, this is what I'm going to do. In 5 years, this is what I'm going to do. So
it wasn't once a year. It was
every 5 years. Right. So
what was after the high dive?
I think at 70, she did this thing where she tried pop for the first time. Yeah.
POT?
POT. Yeah. She smoked it up.
Oh, I was going to say, was it smoking or edibles?
Smoking. No, she smoked. And then I think at 75, she really wanted to jump out of an airplane. Okay. And go parachuting. Right. But at that point in her age, she had already had like knee surgery and hip replacement, and the doctor said, you can't do that. You will snap.
Do you think she would have done it?
Oh, completely.
Oh
100%.
my gosh.
It was amazing. Like, my mom was a really tough old bird, right? And that later in life, she became in a lot of ways really fearless.
Wow.
So yeah, she knew how to leave this world. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was all good.
Would you want to jump out of a plane?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
There's that's, and I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, it's a mixture of fear, okay, but strongly no desire.
Yeah, now I have no desire.
No, I don't want to jump out of a plane if it's parked. Okay. So, all right. So Tiff, we are out of time. I want you to tell the world what was the one big takeaway you got from today?
The whole fear thing.
Yeah.
And it is, you're just gonna go do it.
There you go.
Just do it.
Just do it, right?
Just do it.
Why not?
Why
right?
not? Don't let fear stop you. Just do it.
I love it.
And do one thing every day for 30 days. Because then you won't have any fear and you're going to be piece of cake.
Perfect.
Right?
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove. And of course, I had the ever popular
Tiffany.
All right. On today's show, we talked about less talking and more starting. Next week, I'm going to have Joe, my good friend Joe Janicki, on the show. And we're going to be doing, I think it's part 3 of this 6-part series on the customer experience. So you don't want to miss that. If you missed any part of the show or any of our shows, go to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you very much, and tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.